everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Mom and Pop Eateries of Grey Bruce. I'm your host, Rob Leonard. Producers Mark Perry and Darlene Benwick are back in the studios in Owen Sound, and that's exactly where we're heading for this week's guest. Mr. Alan Boivin is our guest today. And Alan, you are the gentleman who owns those great Sail restaurant and catering company restaurants, one in Meaford, one in Owen Sound. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Rob. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me and asking to speak with myself today. Of course, hello to Mark and Darlene behind the scenes. Much appreciated. It's been a very exciting last 4 years for our company. We formed JAR Hospitality, which is the umbrella organization that myself and my business partner put together. And Sail was our first brand that we launched. And over the last 4 years, we've certainly done lots of different things, and some have worked, some haven't worked so well, but definitely the two Sail restaurants we're very excited about. We have two catering companies as well, Intimate Fare Catering, which is a high-end upscale catering company, and of course what we call Just Like Home Catering, which is a more comfort food, meat and potatoes catering company. And as well, JAR has a management services company. So if you have a restaurant or a banquet hall or a golf course that you would like someone to run the food and beverage for, if you have a small hotel or motel that you would like someone to run for you as a management company, that's something that JAR does as well. And we also consult hospitality, food and beverage. My background's 26 years in hotels with Delta Hotels, and before that I was with a company out west called White Spot Restaurants for about 12 years. And collectively, we've got a lot of experience and obviously a lot more stuff that we learn every day we do this business.
Well, you mentioned Delta. Was it Delta Hotel, you said?
Yeah, I was with Delta Hotels for 26 years. I worked at 10 different Delta locations. I left them
I did my chef's apprenticeship at the Delta Meadowvale Hotel in Mississauga, so we have a connection.
Well, I worked at the old Delta Toronto Airport at Atwell and Dixon. I worked at Delta Toronto Airport West, and I worked at Delta Toronto East as the hotel manager. So I'm sure we know lots of people in common with Delta, that's for sure. It was a great company.
It is absolutely fantastic. The chef I worked under, his name was Mario Ramsey at the Delta Meadowvale, and just a fantastic mentor for any young chef, really, that was coming through the ranks. So any success I had, I give him a lot of credit for that. So, all right, let's talk about Sail. As you said, that's your anchor. That's your big business in there. Meaford was your first location, and if I'm sure anybody would know where it is, but it's right downtown Meaford. The former, I think it was called the Captain's Cupboard or something at one point. But
it was called Captain's Corner. And if you're speaking with people from Meaford, it was a very successful, well-known local fish and chips restaurant. The original owner brought it up from Orangeville, and we didn't buy it from him. There was a couple owners in between. But we were happy to get the opportunity to make that our first sort of purchase as a company. And, we've operated there for 4 years. And, it's obviously Meaford's been very good to us. And we're very excited to work with and support the community in Meaford. And we as a group have been actively engaged in the community, whether it's through myself, the Economic Development Advisory Committee, or my business partner, either as a Chamber of Commerce board director or a Rotary member. We play a role in Meaford, an active role, which I think any business should do. We're a proud supporter of the Meaford Knights, and obviously also, of course, work very closely with Home and Community Support Services and providing the Meals on Wheels program to Meaford Thornbury. And those meals are cooked out of our restaurant in Meaford. However, times are changing, and we are just hot off the press, going to be moving locations from where our current location is up the road to what many locals will know as the old Sizzling location. We're hoping to open that restaurant in early November. It's a bigger space, more parking, and the kitchen there is going to allow us to diversify a little bit more and be able to do more with respect to the catering side of our businesses and in larger kitchens. And also, we intend to launch there with a full breakfast menu as well. So it's exciting times, and this pandemic obviously has been tough on our industry, but we believe there's opportunities out there, and this is one that we're very excited about taking for sure.
And that really has been a real source of encouragement for me. A lot of us in the industry for forever, we have our doubts whether it's going to come bouncing back. But then hearing stories like you just said, moving forward and opening a new location or moving a location, it really does give you a sense of make you feel better about the whole thing. Let's put it that way. So that location that you're speaking of, I'm very familiar with, and you're moving now to the other end. So basically, the east end of Meaford, and as you said, a lot more parking there. It really seems like a really great move for sale to move into that.
The other thing is, because of this pandemic, if you talk to any business expert, they've been telling you, you can't rely on what you've always done. You've got to reinvent yourself. You have to do things differently, not only to survive but also to grow. And that's what we're trying to do. So the bigger kitchen allows us to do more on the catering side of the business. We've always been a proud supporter of the Knights. We do the road team meals for the Meaford Knights, and we're working very closely with Jason and the coach, Corey, I believe, at the Knights as well. And they're working with us and helping us be able to promote our program through to the teams that come to town to visit. And obviously, my background when I was in Guelph with Delta Hotels, we worked with University of Guelph and their nutritionists and their sports team there with respect to coming up with meals that were nutritious and obviously gave the athletes what they need and were economical as well. And we're doing that with the Knights and hopefully working with them to support those meals to other teams when they come to town or within this area, or quite frankly within Owen Sound as well, which is of course our other location, and to be able to provide meals to those teams as well. And then of course what we do is like we try to with almost everything we do, is that we then turn around and give something back from those sales to the Knights. And I haven't done it yet, but it's my intention to work with minor hockey locally as well on the exact same program, so that they're going to have an opportunity to, not only have an economical and healthy way to feed the teams, but also, something will come back to the Minor Hockey Association with respect to every time that someone, purchases one of those meals. And we always look at that from our presence in our community, everything we do. When COVID came out, one of the first things we did, because we were shut down other than takeout, is we really focused on, okay, this is a chance for us to grow our takeout business. It's all we've got, so what can we do with it? And so we turned around and decided to donate 15% of our revenue when this started, and we did this for 6 weeks, to the food banks in Owen Sound and in Meaford and in Thornbury. And I forget the actual total number, but we donated back to those food banks, I think something over $4,000 over the first 6 weeks of the pandemic. And we certainly benefited from it because we got a lot of gratitude and exposure from it, but it also helped those organizations do the important work that they do within each of those communities. And I think that is really critical in this difficult time, that we all have a role to play, and it isn't just about being in business and making money. It's also about partnerships and supporting one another. And to me, it's the most effective type of marketing that you can possibly do. And it's also, our partnership with Home and Community Support Services is another big part of our business. And obviously, we provide the Meals on Wheels program to Owen Sound out of our Owen Sound location, which we opened in November of last year. And we provide the meals for Meals on Wheels in Meaford Thornbury out of our Meaford location. And again, we have a 20 meal or a 20 item menu rotation that we have that's delivered out by volunteers on a Monday through Friday basis. And during the time of this pandemic, our Owen Sound business is up as far as the number of meals we're putting out is up about, I think, somewhere in the range of almost 40%. And the Meaford business is practically doubled. And it makes good business sense. It's not necessarily, a huge high profit sort of item, but it really helps people make sure they're getting a nutritious meal at least once a week or twice a week, or some people to get it 5 days a week. And obviously, it's really, I think, something that's going to help us continue to survive and grow our company. And I think that one of the things always is trying to get past the stigma of, if I look at my dad and talk about Meals on Wheels and he goes, well, I don't need charity. And well, no, that's not what it is. Meals on Wheels, you pay for the meal and it's delivered to you. And you get a good meal, and not everyone at home likes to necessarily cook. Not everyone at home necessarily, has, for whatever reason, the ability or the knowledge or the tools or the opportunity to go shopping to cook themselves a meal. So Meals on Wheels is an important part of that, and certainly it's something that we certainly think there's a lot more people could take advantage of. And obviously, we're also always looking for more people to help volunteer and be drivers and delivery people for the programs within Owen Sound, Meaford, and Thornbury.
And you see, everything you just talked about, everything you just mentioned is shows just how valuable the mom and pop operation is to the communities that they serve. And you talked about working with the Meaford Knights hockey team, which as I mentioned to you last night, Rogers TV and Mark Perry specifically has been broadcasting their games on TV on Rogers Grey County since the very first season, I believe. Yeah. And Mark hauling that equipment in there every Thursday night for the games. And, again, Meals on Wheels. Now, let's talk about that for a second as well. If someone was interested in looking further into the Meals on Wheels, who would they contact?
Well, they can, the easiest thing is to call us. Certainly they can call our restaurant in Owen Sound, 226-664-8400, or they can call our restaurant in Owen Sound, 519-538-0202, or they can call Home and Community Support Services of Grey Bruce. Any one of those three will point them in the right direction. A lot of people, I think it's just a matter of trying it and seeing, if it works for them. And you don't need to do it. You don't need to commit to it for a month or whatever. You can just try it for a week, or you can try it for a couple days. And if it meets your needs. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity for people to be able to give it a try. And, it's just one less meal that they have to shop for, that they have to prepare. So it's obviously a good service in that way as well. And it's certainly not an expensive opportunity by all. You've got a main course, you've got either a salad or soup, you've got a roll, you've got a dessert, you've got juice. So it basically covers what you need as well. The portions are geared to the point of, a somewhat more senior demographic. So you're not in a position where you go to a restaurant where typically portions are quite large, of which, of course, we at Sale are guilty of on occasion as well. And there's not a lot of waste generated from that as well. So we're great, partners with Home and Community Support Services. And, another thing we're doing is this coming Thanksgiving weekend, we've bought an exclusive sponsorship on the dock to be able to promote their music theme for Thanksgiving weekend. And basically, you get two 10-second mentions or ads every hour the entire Thanksgiving weekend. And so every hour, we're donating one of those to Home and Community Support Services to promote the Meals on Wheels program, because yes, it benefits us, of course, but I think it's also a program that so many more people could be taking advantage of that currently don't, and I think that it'll be great if they could. So,
Alan, I got to tell you one thing I really love here is your honesty. You're being straight up and forward, and I love that, right? You're saying that, yes, there is something in it for us, right? You're being
well,
very honest
it's
about
great for
that.
cash flow. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no doubt, but it's we look at the next 6 months, and this is where I go back to talking about having to reinvent yourself, because if we did what we did last November to April, it's very difficult to navigate the future as to what's going to happen. So one of the reasons for the move is there's a business decision behind it where we own real estate, and we're going to sell that real estate in exchange, use that money to do the move, but also use some of that money because we're excited about a new location that we want to open down in Markdale. Now, that deal is not done. It's certainly in its early stages, and I don't want to speak to any more specific about that, but we really like the community. We like the location. And for us, whether it's catering from a sports team perspective, or whether it's just from our core fish and chips and other customers, because of course we do a lot more than just fish and chips. We have great fried chicken and burgers and wraps and salads. It gives us a real good geographic sort of coverage between Markdale, Meaford, and Owen Sound. And obviously we looked really, really hard at Wyerton a little bit earlier this year, and I'm sure, my hope or goal within the next 12 months or so is we'd be able to talk about a location in the Wyerton area and potentially in Hanover. When we talk about the restaurant business right now, there's lots of opportunities out there. I believe there's lots of individuals who either are wanting to sell or get away from the business, but they're trying to how do they make their money out of it, when they're trying to sell an individual restaurant. And we're really interested in talking to those folks about coming up with creative ways that they're able to get their hard-earned money, time, and energy that they've put into that restaurant, and we're able to grow and expand our business. And we're not intending to be this Canada-wide sort of huge brand by any means, but we certainly would like to have a larger presence in Grey Bruce counties for sure. And obviously Markdale is a good geographic step, as is Wyerton and potentially Hanover and some other locations as well.
So you're looking at more of a regional approach to the brand, which is excuse me, that's a great idea. Now, you also discussed the fish and chip idea itself. We talked a bit last night about it being a certain demographic that are used to that fish and chip experience. Sorry, I should have had a glass of water with me. And it tends to be, me, I love going out for fish and chips, but it is the older demographic that are maybe more interested in, that are more drawn by the fish and chip dinner on a Friday night, which has been traditional for umpteen years. But then, as you said, you offer a lot of other different options on your menu. You've got the fried chicken and the wraps, and maybe we could talk about those items a little bit too.
Yeah, the first thing I will say is just with respect to fish and chips. Fish and chips are like wine. And I say that in that everyone has the type of batter they like. Everyone has the type of fish they like. Everyone has the type of fries that they like. Everyone has the type of tartar sauce or coleslaw they like. And it's not a matter of who's the best or who's, better. It's really about what is your taste for that particular style. Our fish and chips is our batter, especially, is it's a very light batter. It's not a more of your heavy style fish and chips batter, which of course, my dad is very popular with. So it's a much lighter type batter. So we believe it will appeal more to to all demographics, as you will. Our tartar sauce we make from scratch. It's our own recipe, and you don't get a little individual portion or whatever. You put a big honking bottle on the table. You have all the tartar sauce you want. And as far as the coleslaw, again, is our own recipe, very creative, very different from what you might normally get for coleslaw. But we introduced fried chicken about a year and a half ago. And it's grown in popularity hugely. It's a really good fried chicken. It's, your typical 4 pieces, breast, thigh, drumstick, wing. We have a family meal where you can choose either 10 pieces of fish with fries and coleslaw and 4 pops, $47.99. It's a very good deal. Or you can say, I'm just going to have 10 pieces of chicken. Or you can have 5 pieces of chips, 5 pieces of chicken. It's really up to you what you want to do. The same price, so you can feed a family of 4 for $47.99. We call it fins and feathers, and it's available at Owen Sound or Meaford location. It's available. You can eat in, you can take out, and in Owen Sound, of course, we have delivery. And we wish we had delivery in Meaford. We're looking for a partner relationship that can allow us to do that. We haven't found it yet, but hopefully we will soon. But certainly we're going to be registering for Skip the Dishes in Owen Sound shortly, and that'll increase our exposure to be able to deliver and market even better than our current delivery service does. But a lot of people don't like, the fried stuff. So wraps are very, very popular during the summer. We have, the creamy mango salsa wrap, which is very popular, your BLT, your Hail Caesar wrap. We have grilled salmon. If you don't like the deep fried, you can also get your halibut pan fried. We do from scratch mashed potatoes. So we're not talking about pre-mixed or anything. We're talking from scratch mashed potatoes. So there's a lot of things that we do that are take a little more time, take a little more energy and effort that just, I think, add just a little bit more on the quality and presentation side to the experience. And, why we're excited about the location in Meaford, the new location, is to talk about breakfast, because we're about maximizing your square footage, and in a lunch dinner restaurant you've got that space that's not doing anything from 6 a.m. until 11, and you've got your cook there who's preparing the meals on wheels. So why not bring in a server and do some breakfast items as well? Breakfast is very much in my background with White Spot Restaurants, so it's certainly something that I'm very familiar with, and I think that we could do quite well. And when you talk about a full breakfast restaurant, there's not a lot of choices. And the other thing that we're very proud of as far as sales go is we're a 7-day-a-week restaurant. We don't close a couple of days a week. And I certainly understand why some do, especially if it's just you and your partner perhaps running one restaurant. But in our company, between the 2 restaurants, the 2 catering companies, and our management company, we're always moving people all over the place. And so it's more easy for us to be able to move those people around. And we want to be consistent in our operating hours, and we want people to know that we are open 7 days a week, and you can come visit us anytime, and we'll be there.
Yeah, and that consistency is so key in the restaurant industry, and is you have to be open when you say you're open. You need to be now with the breakfast. The breakfast idea is a great thing too, because in a lot of cases, what you do, you create a meeting place first thing in the morning for some of the, you get some of that older demographic again that just want to meet up in the morning and have some coffee and toast first thing in the morning. So, but then that coffee and toast can turn into a lunch, turns into a dinner. So.
Well, especially on the weekend when people want to get together, especially Saturday, Sunday is a big day for, for people to get to have a breakfast or what you want to call a brunch or just a late meal for sure. But, you got the facilities, you got the staff, you got the kitchen. So, it certainly makes sense. And one last thing I do want to talk about is, of course, our management company, because we launched our management company about 2 years ago. Our first opportunity was Stone Tree Golf Club, which, of course, we run the food and beverage there. And we're certainly, again, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a golf course, whether it's a banquet hall, whether it's a small motel or a hotel, we have the expertise within our company to be able to operate those facilities on behalf of owners. And, certainly we do consider ourselves very knowledgeable on it within those businesses, and that if someone is owning one of those facilities and they don't necessarily want to sell it because they like the investment, they like the perks of owning such a facility, but they're a little bit either tired of running it or certainly would like to focus on other parts of their business, then they can hire us and talk to us to go in and actually have us run it for them. And I know we were talking last night. We were actually talking to 2 other golf courses, this past winter, prior to obviously COVID coming along, and those plans didn't bear fruit due to that. But hopefully, again, next season, it's going to be an opportunity for us to come out and grow our business, whether those golf courses become sale brands because the kitchen allows it, or whether it's one of our other brands, or it just is us overseeing management of that golf course. So.
Well, and due to the mom and pop Eateries page, I may have a couple of leads for you as well. So in some of the conversations I've had with people in the area, I can talk to you about that afterwards. Okay, we've got about a minute left. Like I said to you last night, this half hour goes really fast, Alan. So where can we go with this last minute? I'll let you go ahead.
I think the thing I would say is that we are always looking for good people to grow with us. We're a young company, although I'm not so young, but we're going places, exciting places, and we've got a good core group of people, and we're always looking for people to come work for us and come work with us. We have a lot of fun. I'm quite a sarcastic individual, and some people would say I'm fun, other people maybe not, but we're always looking to get more and more people involved with our company and to come work for us. And I think the second thing is just for us to succeed, it's important for us to be engaged and involved in the communities that we serve. And we like to continue to do that, and we're always open to opportunities to be able to do that if we can help anyway.
Yeah, I just from talking to you this last half hour, I am thoroughly convinced that you've succeeded in all of those angles. It's so nice to finally meet you. We got to talk on the phone last night. So everyone, please, you get the opportunity, get out to Sail Restaurant and Catering Company, located in Meaford. The one and Owen Sound is sitting right there at 10th and 2nd, basically, in downtown Owen Sound. Alan Boivin was my guest for today. Alan, thank you so much, and all the best to you and your staff and everyone, and stay healthy, stay well.
Thanks so much, Rob. Very much appreciated. Take care.
Take care. Thank you. All right. For producers Mark Perry and Darlene Van Wyck, I'm Rob Leonard. Thanks so much for joining us on Mom and Pop Eateries of Grey Bruce. We'll see you next time.